Hello everyone, my name is RedSnob513 and today I'm going to be showing you a tutorial on railroad stations and railroad signals. Just give me a second and I'll have these built for you so you can see how they each work, and I'll show you how you can use them effectively in your gameplay. Alright, so I've gone ahead and built this railroad track here along with the stations here, and I did kind of cheat using the tutorial to up production to show you exactly how this would work. But so when you start out, I'll actually make this more like when you start. When you start out, it'll make probably the biggest one on the map will make maybe 120 tons, and you do want to start with coal because coal's value goes down very slowly over time. So what you want to have here is a station. It doesn't matter how long it is. Just let you know, the longer the station is, the faster the load and unload time is. And you just want to have pretty much rails all the way across. You can add turns if you need to, but turns slow down train, which slows down your money making and productivity. So if you didn't know, this is your first time, coal goes to power plants. I do have a couple other examples here using oil and iron. And if you also didn't know, you make more money by transferring the goods farther. So if you can get it from this point to, say, like here, that's not a lot of money. But if you can from here to here, that's money. If you can go from here all the way across the map, if you have enough money to do that, that's more money. So now I'm going to be showing you how to add signals here. So when you open up your railroad construction, yes, I'm aware I set the date to 2025, but I won't be using the maglev trains just yet. I want to show a more realistic train. I would be using steam, but that's a little too slow for my taste. So when you build a station here, you want to turn the coverage area highlight on, and you want to make sure that where your station is, the purple goes over your industry here. Also, it helps that if you look right here under supplies, when you put it over the thing, that it says what you want, so like coal. And you want to build two stations right next to each other. Like I said before, the length really doesn't matter. You want to add one of these here, the railroad stockhouse or something like that, the depot. And what you want to do is you want to get a new train. I'll just use the Asia Star, and for each train you want 3 coal cars. Now when you first start out with only 100 tons of coal, roughly 100 tons being made a year, you're probably going to need 1 or 2 trains based on the distance that you take it. So I will make 2 of these. So to make it easier on me, I'm going to go, you want to set the orders to go to the stations, and then I will clone that train. And before you want to let them out, you do want to build the stations here, or the signals here. So I'll tell you how to build them and then I'll explain what each one does. So first you want to build this one here called an exit signal. It's the third from the left on the very bottom. You want to put one on both sides. You want to have it facing both directions, and you just want to put them on those 2 horizontal pieces before the cross. Here I did not add a cross, but adding a cross isn't really that hard. So next you want to decide which way will be, like which way your trains will be going. So I'm going to make this far side here the entrance. So you want to take an entrance signal here. That's the second one from the left on the very bottom, and you want to make it one facing the direction that you want the trains to go. So the trains will be traveling in this direction into the station. You will then want to take a block signal here, which is the one very far to the left, and you want to place it right here next to it, going the opposite direction that the entry signal is facing. I do like to boost these up, so I click on this number here and make it about 6. And you want to click and hold onto the train signal here. And you just want to click and drag all the way over to the other train station. When you get all the way over to the other one, you want to make an entry signal just like the other one, only it's on the other side, and you want it to go the same direction as your block signals. You're almost done now. All you need to do is just add block signals on this side, opposite facing, and you just want to click and drag them over. Like that. Now that you have your signals down, I'll try to roughly explain to you how each one works. I'll use a train to show you. So I'll use this train here. So you do want to use this design for when you first start out because of smaller production, but you will probably want to boost up to a higher production later on, and I'll show you how to do a 4-station terminal that works a lot more efficient than this one. But well, I'll just try to show you. So a block signal, I'll go over here out in the middle. This block signal here means that if there's a train right here where my mouse is, then this signal right here will turn red, and it will stop any other trains from coming as long as a train is in between this block section. The trains will continue, so really these just kind of separate it, and you want them kind of close but not very close, because if you only have 2 block signals, like one here and then one all the way over here, that means that this entire railroad is a block, and that means that your train will have to stop here and wait until your other train going gets all the way over here before it can go. The entry signal pretty much says that as the train enters, it will say that it's green, but if there's 2 trains in this station, it will turn red, and that it can't enter when it's red, so it will sit here and wait until one of these trains leaves. Now, when it is green, the train will enter, and it will choose the easiest path. I messed that up again. It will choose the easiest direction in, so it will probably go straight forward if there's not a train in this station. But if there is a train in this station, this exit signal will be red, so the train will be forced to go over here into this station. And this signal will turn red. Now, if both trains are trying to leave at the same time, so let's say both are leaving, the game will probably choose the one that's closest to the signals first. It will go through, because this signal will be green, but this one will be red. It will go through, and when it's going through the diagonal, this entry signal turns red, and this exit signal turns red. So if this train tries to leave while there's one here in the middle, it can't because there's a train there. As soon as this train hits this block signal, and it goes into the block, it will turn the entry signal green, and it will also turn the exit signal green, allowing the other train to leave. Now with this design, I'd say it's a good starting design. Maybe 2 trains, but I've noticed notice how it went up since I've been talking. The more cargo that your trains take, the more production goes up. So eventually when your production gets up into the thousands or 2000s, you will want to, see how much coal that is? You'll want to clone your trains and probably have multiple trains running on the same track. Now with this one, depending on how large the length is, you will probably want to have let's say 4 to 6 trains running at one time with an even production rate still going. So with the 4 trains, that leaves 2 trains in this station, 2 trains in this station, and then hopefully 2 trains in the mid-track between the middle. And also see, if this block signal wasn't red when that train broke down, this train would have just ran straight into it and blown up because it wouldn't have known what to do. So when you have production this large, notice how much coal it's making. You really do and it probably really would be worth upgrading to a 4-station terminal. And there are a couple of stations that you could use, like station varieties, although I'd recommend one of them for the most efficiency to time use. So I'll build it and then get back and tell you how to use signals on it. Well, actually, I decided to show you how I built the last one. So what I like to do here is you want to get your industry in the blue highlighted area, and you just want to click and drag 4 across, and then I like to do a solid 10 station terminals, and you want to make sure the orientation, probably should have told you this before, you want to make sure the orientation is in the correct direction to your accepting source over here. Next, you want to take your rails. I like to use the auto rail here, and you see the 3rd station here. You want to build a straight railroad across. Hang on, this is probably gonna be slow because I'm not. I have to remember how to. Okay, you know what? I'll just show you how to build the entryway and exit way for this station. So, oops. That's why you don't really use the auto rail too much unless you know what you're doing. So you want to add 2 straight rails behind the station terminal. Then you want to add diagonals, 1 diagonal on each one, followed by a straight horizontal rail connecting them like so. You'll then want to make a turn and head over to your source that way. This will be the entrance. So trains will come along here, turn here, and then go into whichever one of the stations is open. But I'll show you how to do that later. Next, I'll be showing you the exit here. This one is a little bit more different since it is a 4-station terminal. You want to just build a plot length here of a very straight line of this. This will be your main track, and you will have these connect to this. You want to make each station 4 wide to accommodate trains based on the length. If you keep the standard, what I like to do, which is the engine with 3 cars on the end, this should work for you. So the Asia train will work. Every other one will work as long as it has 3 railroad cars on it. You want to pretty much do the same thing, only you're going to diagonal, and then you're going to use 4 spaces between them. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you want to 1, 2, 3, 4 diagonal this one, this one into this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then once you have the 4th one, you want to diagonal that one into that one. And that should be your exit strategy there. Hear that? I will show you which signals you need here. So for the entryway, instead of an entry signal, you're going to want to use this one, which is the very far right signal called, I believe it's called a one-way signal. So you want to take the one-way signal and you want to put it right here after your turn, and you want to make sure it's facing towards this way, facing towards where the train is going to go in. Now with this signal, what this one does, it pretty much says, alright, this area between here and the stations is going to be one way only, so you're not allowed to turn around, and you have to do it safely. So if there's a train blocking your path here, this path isn't available. You're going to have to choose the next closest one, or the next closest one, or the next closest one. And if all of the stations are full, then obviously the train's going to sit here and wait until this one readies and opens up again. You will want to separate it with block signals, again, like always. So I'll leave that like that. This is also another special one here. You want to use block signals, but it's very, well, you just need to be careful when you place them down. You want to place them right after a convergence here. So, my bad. First you want to put exit signals here, but you only want them facing the station, not out here in this direction. So you only want them facing into the station. You then take a block signal and you will place one here right after they converge facing that direction. Same with this one, and then you'll do it with this one. You then want to do as I said before in the old one and expand it out here all the way over to this one over here, and you're going to want to do the same thing over here. So let me pause the video, build the next railroad, and then I'll show you how they connect. Alright, so unfortunately when I connected these together it does have a diagonal here, and you really don't want to add turns unless you absolutely have to. So I did enable to connect this one to this one. So I took the entrance here. So this is the entryway here. They come in through here, go into the station, they leave the station, and then they come over here, loop around, and then enter into this station. And once again, you're going to have to build this exit station over here. So I'll go over it again if you didn't understand it in the first part. It's pretty much all the same. So like I said before, for length, before you start diagonaling them into each other. And if you do have any questions on where I got this information, you can look at the Wikipedia for signals. They do teach you, except I thought with me trying to explain how these work would probably be more beneficial than reading the Wikipedia, because it is pretty confusing, or at least I thought it was confusing. Alright, so just like before, you take, those are exit signals. Alright, so this is a nifty trick so that you don't have to spend all of your money doing this here. You can just hold the shift, or not the shift button, you hold the control button and you click on it, and it'll shift through all of the available signals without you deleting it and then spending more money to buy it. So that's a little nifty thing there. Now that I think about it, you probably do want to have this signal here instead. So you want that one here, and you probably just should delete that one. And once again, as the previous design before, you want to have block signals between both of them. So I already have that one set up. Click and drag. Click and drag. And then you also want to click and drag for this one here. Now with this, this is actually a very good station here with how much oil, so I don't even know if you will be able to get this much liters of oil from an oil well. You might have to do this using a boat in the ocean for an oil rig. So you'd have to use a boat to go to the oil rig, and they would have to come back and drop it off. You would want to use the transport or transfer function so that it'll drop it off into a train station like this, and then you can get resources. And I did forget to build my train depot. So build a train depot, and you're done pretty much. All you need to do is buy one train here, and you want to use it to transport between the two places. Now, with this, I would recommend that you buy this with a later period of time, when you have a little bit more money, because as you can see, it's very costly to build 8 stations that are 10 lengths wide. So, alright, so when all of the trains go into the station, the train will go here. This will say, alright, yeah, you can go in because all or one of the stations is empty. and then it'll go in, and as it drives, it'll say, well, this station has a train in it, so I can't go in there. This station has a train in it, so I can't go in there. This station doesn't have a train in it, so I can go in there, and it'll loop in there. But if all 4 of them are full, I actually have not had all 4 of my stations full. I really don't know what happens, so hopefully this thing stops it. If you do have any questions, you can refer to the Wikipedia. I'll put the link in the description for this particular train setup. Now I'm going to tell you how the exit way works. As this train leaves, it says, hey, you can't go because there's a cross here, until it leaves here and goes into this one. This train can leave when it gets in here, so this one can leave. When a train is here, it will say, hang on, there's a train here, you can't go here, and then waits until it leaves, and then it says, okay, now you can go. So pretty much it's a foolproof system that makes sure that trains don't collide, especially with these. You don't have to have these signals, but I would highly, highly recommend having those signals there. Now, you may be asking, well, what's the difference between this one and the other one that I just built? They both seem to have, they both work and everything. Why can't I have that? Well, this one here, you can only have 2 trains in the terminal, so if this one got here any sooner, you would see that it would have to sit here and wait until this train leaves, and that's just time and money being wasted by that train sitting there. You always want to keep your trains constantly moving, and you always want to send them over a long distance to make money. Now, let's say you get to the point where it's like, okay, I do not have enough trains. This station, I still have trains waiting in line to go get more oil. You can either add more trains, or you can build an 8-station terminal. So here is an 8-station terminal. It'll be the same as before. You'll just same backs. So okay, I can't do that. So just straight lines out for 2, and then you just want to angle them all in to one horizontal track like this. Here is your entryway. So here's where your trains will enter. The exit is essentially the same as the other one, only it's a little bit just larger because there's another 4-train station on it. But it will look pretty much the same. So I'll take this one and angle it into each other. And then you want to go out another 4 lengths. And actually, I believe you can angle another one of these together too. You then want to extend these out here. So these 2, you will expand these into each other. You expand these into each other. This one will be your main railroad here, so I'll just have the other ones expand into it. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. That's 4. And then it'll do the extend in there. This one will do another 4 and then extend in there. And here's your finished train here. You just want your exit signals facing your stations. You just do the same thing as before. You just put the one, these are block signals, by the way. You take one block signal and you put it after the turn facing the intersection, and that's that. You pretty much just do the same thing. You want to take the exit, loop back over into the entrance, wherever that may be, and then you want to take the exit on the one over here and loop it back over to this entrance. You do want to use the one-way safety blocks or safety signals here, and you do want to have 2 running out. It's not a requirement, but it just makes things a lot smoother when there's 2 of these here.